I'm on camera. Taking you all on a little safari. The day in the life of Engineer Central. I'm going to enjoy this. Every bit of what they do to me and my son costs me. I'm enjoying it. Well, don't worry. I'm not about to give them what they want. Not quite. They might be able to squeeze a semblance of a little illusion satisfaction, but I'm not going to give them quite what they want. Not quite. But they are going to pay though. With every bit of bullshit games, playing with the system, interference, the drug addict stalkers, with every bit of trickery and exploitation of any technology, connection, or resource. Let me ask, from a humanistic point of view, what does you or what does what you do for a living, or what you do as a hobby, or what you do as your gifting, caution there, because some people out here, wow, now doing some crazy shit to people and calling it their gift. But outside of that, what does it have to do with anything about basic human kindness, compassion, empathy, and sympathy towards their fellow man? 0%. It lets you know, though, that some people are just that programmed. Let me go ahead and pause y'all real quick. I got to take care of something. I'm ready. Okay, I didn't want you all to have to be a part of me at the register. I mean, you don't need to hear all that. Okay, hold on one second. How you doing? Okay. Yeah. Now, story time. Time for some truth. That some of y'all ain't ready for. Story time. You want to know the truth? You can't fucking handle the truth. Some of you too weak back. Want to fit in so bad. That's some of you. You want master's approval so bad, you still tap dance and slavery was supposed to end. Take that. Some of you that ends up on this video, not you collective. You and I collective, we're on the same page. Everything they do is going to come with somebody going to pay. Somebody and they crew. I don't give a fuck if it ain't the big wigs. That's the beauty. That's the sweetness about it. That's the beauty. I don't care. They don't care. So I don't care if it ain't the big wigs. They little retarded ass minions though. They little tap dancing monkeys. Full of wounds that them nor their ancestors ever wanted to fucking look at. And sitting up there licking the ass crack of their slave master. The one that's punishing and suppressing them. And then sprinkling a little nice car with some rims, some gold rims. Get you some chicken and some rims. That'll get them. Just get them some chicken and some gold rims and some gold chains and some Gucci and Coach bags, bitch, and a fake ass Birkin. Tell them they're beautiful. Tell them they're handsome. Tell them they're smart for the egotistical maniacs that need to feel relevant. Tell them. Y'all want to know the truth? Can't handle the truth. Not ready for the truth. You don't want the truth. You want the comfortable lie, the comfortable illusion, long as someone else pays for that illusion. Want the comfortable familiarity. Truth. Every trap, every intersection, exploitation will be met, is being met, and will continually be met with the cost. Every time they play these games with me to paint this narrative to the ignorant world, it's going to come with a price for somebody. So let's get into some truths that they think they're going to suppress. I'm not even looking at the screen because I really don't care about comments, bots, fake ass motherfuckers, trolls, witches and warlocks on crack, cocaine, and meth. I don't care. You can't insult somebody who's lived their life with their foundation with nothing but a bunch of insulting bullies. You can't consult somebody who's already lived the life of people, lying to them to make them small so that they can feel tall. Penny ass, high school ass, ignorant ass statements does nothing hurt. Now I'm not looking at the screen. So for some of you, you may wonder why she said that. I don't know. I just saw some blur writing the way I got the phone. So I'm just setting the record straight. I don't give a fuck. Truth. Me and my son have been bounced around in fake ass systems, calling themselves coordinated entry systems, which is nothing but a bunch of coordinated confusion systems designed to exasperate the population that they serve unnecessarily. You want the truth? Can't handle the fucking truth. You want the comfortable lives that keeps you sitting nice and cushy in your fake ass houses, boats and yachts and cottages, pretending to be woke with your Linda Lemon shit. You don't want the truth. Can't fucking handle the truth. Every illegal surveillancer, every hooker, every thug, every Ken and Barbie with their Hollywood 6 veneers, every corrupt security, every neighbor, all these people that are involved in the bullshit, somebody and several somebodies will suffer, one way or the other. Sitting their whole asses up in these apartments, casting spells, cigarette spells, weird signals and shit. Truth? You don't want the truth. The world doesn't want the truth. It never has. It never fucking has. This I learned a long time ago. It never has. It wants the comfortable illusion. Keep me soothed by what I grew up with my whole life, even though it's shit. Keep me soothed. They don't want the truth, but here's the truth. The coordinated entry system, the famous individuals, the corruption that is involved, the crawling demiurge central. As they torment and harass my son and me, people pay. One way or the other. Every witch, every practitioner, truth, somebody, and several somebodies gonna suffer. Why? Order. Is it because I'm going to be putting my concentrated energy on it? Nope. They're not that relevant. But they are going to be in that way. My son and I were tossed around in the coordinated entry system, which is a system that is designed, supposedly, for all intents and purposes. It's designed to exasperate. I'm going to keep saying it until it clicks. It is designed to exasperate the very population in which they serve. It is for containment, not care. The games they play the vague communication, the plausible deniability, the lies, the upfront, downright, nigga, bitch, weirdo, nigga, hoe, nigga, bitch, nigga, hoe, nigga, trash, nigga, hoe, nigga, bitch, trash, you wanna be, nigga, bitch, hoe, nigga, sellout, Uncle Tom, motherfucker, nigga, bitch, nigga, fake ass, fake woke, fake saved, fake evolved, fake philanthropy, fake humanitarian, fake ass 501c. Bunch of filler paper and shit. Offering services that the person would do themselves. Ain't shit special about it. Now, I went to Compton under false pretense, and I'm gonna say it over and over and over and over again. The more I'm played with, the more I'm gonna tell. The more there's interception and interference and bullshit ass bureaucracy, the more I'm going to tell. The more names I'm gonna start dropping, places, locations, facts, because if they even call themselves trying to say, yeah, well, you ain't gonna be able to refute this, bitch. Now, I was told I'm an excellent communicator and highly intelligent, and I don't say that like people who be saying that because they're trying to prove that they're relevant and they feel some kind of way, and so they have to say it to you because they're trying to make sure, bitch, that you know, nigga, that they, you know what I'm saying? That's not why I'm saying it. I'm saying it because I really could care less. I could fucking care less. The reason I'm saying it, it's a part of the example. I got backing on it, though. I mean, it's not something that needs to really be said. Got a trail, a mountain of the trail of shit. I communicate almost over communication because of the fact of how deceptive this world is and how deceptive these so-called programs are and their people. So for that reason, I've had a tendency to be an over communicator. Because listen, if you need niggas, look, don't play. I'm saying it now. If this ain't something your whole ass can do, your whole ass should say that straight away. See, that's too legitimate, though. It's too legitimate. The system is not designed for clarity. It's designed for confusion. Get the person there, and since that, the exploitation of vulnerability, so since they're there and they're trapped, what other options? That's why people show they stinky ghetto ass asses when they get people in these situations. This is exactly why they do that. Because in the back of their mind, they're saying, what other option do they have? Where are they gonna go? What are they gonna do? I can act a zip damn fool. I can play ignorant, I can play busy, I can play sick, I can play stupid, I can do all this. What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? Yeah, the so-called nigger bags, hoe bags that call themselves caring for the community. I was told that we would go to Compton and that these people in this program had programs to put you in your own apartment, some income-based something to that effect that was different than what I was experiencing where I was prior to going. That is exactly what I was told, not only by the person who recommended. When I finally connected, I mean, I spoke to these people over the phone the whole day before I even arrived, and even that was something that was unnecessary and manufactured. This is what I was told. I get there, and then it was the bait and switch, or it was confusion around all of it. I attempted to communicate. As I mentioned, I'm a good communicator. I didn't get proper, ample responses. I didn't get proper, ample follow through. I didn't get any of it. I got a bunch of BS. My efforts to sustain a job was sabotaged. My son's efforts to be a part of a program, to go to a class once a week, was sabotaged. I mentioned his needs, the situation, to every authority that was involved from the very beginning. We were met with mockery. They yelled at my son on day one, an autistic, because of their ignorance, insensitivity, and in some cases because they were paid to. Their whole bag witches and wizards and warlocks on their property, other residents, they allowed to get involved. But I'm not going to get too deep into all that because some of you aren't ready for that truth. So I'm going to stick with the stuff that most of you can relate to. All of my efforts to stabilize my son and I were met with resistance in the shelter in Compton. And it started from the beginning, and it picked up the moment they started to see and realize that I was stabilizing. The moment they realized that I was getting somewhere, even though they were all a bunch of full of shit and doing spells, gossiping, religious fanatics, jealous niggas and bitches, and the list goes on and on and on. They mocked me and my son. I caught them in their mockery. They were full of confusion. Oh, we're doing pest control. Oh, we're not doing it yet. Oh, they're just, it was bullshit. Yeah, 501c, Compton. And if this shit persists, it's going to get real interesting. Every day that me and my son is some fucking entertainment for these whole bags. Every day that some crackhead ass bitch and nigga come they cockeyed ass out here. Every day, every moment that there's any inconvenience, I am going to amp up pain. And what do I mean? Names. And guess what? I have a right to do that. You know why? Because I have a right to speak and tell what people do. These are facts. And I got data to back it. These people did not communicate with me until they wanted something from me or wanted to require something. They would appease me in order to drain my energy. Appeasing, buying time, distraction, tactics, all of the above. Yes, Compton, shelter, my efforts to stabilize, as everywhere that I've been, but most certainly in a shelter, because of course in a shelter it's a higher probability to be able to do it. Okay, it's higher. But the proof is in the pudding. They could not perform basic remedial acts. They could not perform basic remedial, nigger retarded, special needs, helmet, yellow, short yellow bus activities. It was a whole fiasco, the niggas, to get a fucking remote that they never was able to get, by the way, for a TV, and something that I'm sure they have listed on their packet to even have a 501c as a part of what they provide. That was a whole, you would think this was some quantum physics science bitch, the way that shit went. For a remote control to their TV in their facility. And then when they came up with some, then they sent a broke ass one with, I don't know, see how bootleg? And this was a month into being there. I was told that there would be a dresser within a couple of days of arrival. That wasn't until a month and a half, and that was only because I had to be a bugaboo about even that. They could not perform retarded ass remedial basic shit. Let me rephrase it. They refused to. So a program that's designed to care, wanting their people to make it, is it that they want their people to make it, or they want their ass kissers tokens to make it? Who are their tokens? The simps, weak spine, ass kissers, brown nosers, tap dancing monkeys. They don't ask questions, they just do what they're told because they're easily bought and sold. People that go to their church, people that support their family, their friends group, their circle. People who believe like them, people who they don't feel challenged by, so they're not triggered. They don't feel something rise up within them by somebody else's, looks, intelligence, creativity, or whatever. People that makes them feel tall because they're in victimhood and feeling small and tap dancing that role so the bitch can feel relevant. But that is not what these systems are supposed to be. Politicians that like to sit up and talk about why the homeless population have mental illness, you might want to stretch. Is it not your system that's playing a major role for some of these people? If not all of them, some of them for sure. Homelessness pandemic, there was someone I spoke to that said, The person that recommended me, by the way, told me about their conversation with the mayor about, you know, the mental. Oh, I love this shit because how dare they? How dare they? People mentally ill. That's why I was like, well, everybody in this bitch need to repent, because if that's the premise, bitch, then all these niggas and bitches prospectively need to see. Including the motherfuckers who work there. Just saying. You have a mother and a son, mother and a daughter in a family that could have suffered abuse that maybe the world doesn't want to recognize. That's too fucking bad, okay? We'll put a pin in that. But just because people don't want to recognize it, it does not take away its validity and truth. Systemic abuse by those that are privileged and in privilege. I'm gonna stop saying power. I'm gonna say privilege. That's what I'm gonna start calling motherfuckers. That's the more accurate statement. Privileged bullies. Have respect for real power. I don't have respect for a bunch of prissy ass, nigga, weak bitch, no toes, simp ass. I ain't got no respect for that. That ain't power to me. That's lazy. Now, as I was saying, you want the truth? You can't fucking handle the truth. You're not ready for the truth. These systems, I'm proof. Because I'm not a drug addict. And I'm not disrespecting communities, because I realize that we don't know the story of why some of these people sit back on our happy asses, our fat duffs, behind computers and shit, and doing Zoom meetings and coffee, bitch. Like we know something. Presuming to know. Why some of these people are that extreme. That's not my story. It's not my case. In terms of, you know, these are underlining possible contributors, factors. You know, they you know, on that stuff. Huh? Walking straight. Not go to the soul. And I'm not disrespectful. That's just not my vibe. Not to, because I get it. You and I, we don't know the full story of why any of these people, as we are evaluating from our nice little cushy privileged asses, that job we got because our mama was a part of this bitch since 1985. Our little degrees and our little classes and certificates, and we've worked for this and that, and we've been on this field Donahue and the Oprah bitch, and we didn't win over here. I don't care, and no real people do. All that theory, PowerPoint presentations and bullet points of coffee and donuts. And everybody's feeling high about how deep and intellectual they are about their conversation about the poor homeless population. You might, politicians, you might want to expand your point of reference. Some of these people are being exhausted by these so-called help systems, with already being burdened with the very things that was already on them prior to even coming to your whole ass. Now, before you want to psychoanalyze them, get some shit straight. Stop pigeonholing and cookie cutting. Because here's the twist. I actually don't fit that population. And I'm not saying that from a privileged place either. A privileged or better than. I'm a person just like them. That just so happened to not be my plight. That wasn't my issue. Have my own plenty. I ain't on drugs and alcohol. I don't have a drug and alcohol history. I don't have a history of violence. I don't have a history of street running. You know what I have a history of? You want to know? You want to know? You want to know? You want to hear? You ready for the truth? You want the truth? Are y'all ready for the truth? Are you ready for the truth? Or your ass too far up? Is your ass, is your head too far up the ass of the skankatron that you believe? Or are you ready to hear the truth? Head so far deep up the bitch's ass, got shit all over yourself. You want to know what I have a history of? Do you want to know my pattern? Do you want to know? Do you want the truth, or do you want this fake ass version that keep all these abusers looking like heroes instead of what the fuck they actually are? Do you want the truth? You know what I have a history of? In my past, in my shadow, in my early stages, in the weakness and all that comes with all of that. I had a pattern of believing in humanity. I had a pattern of believing, give people another chance, give them the benefit of the doubt. They'll treat you right once they can see the error of their ways, once they mature past this, once that, once that, blase. And what did it cost me? A lot of poor decisions, putting myself in situations where my best interest and my son's best interest was not on the table. It had a semblance, it had an appearance, and it was an exploitation of vulnerability that in 90% of the cases was actually manufactured. So I appear to be someone forever running, but that's not what's happening. That's the way I appear. I'm not trying to explain myself either, by the way, because I'm done with that too. I'm speaking some truth. I don't give a fuck at this point. I owe no one an explanation, especially sorry niggas who ain't nothing but a bunch of Uncle Tom simp ass nigga bitches kissing ass for cash. I don't need to explain, neither do you if you're the collective. I don't need to explain who I am. These people need to explain their criminal behavior. I don't need to explain my goddamn practices or my beliefs. They need to explain their hate crimes, their criminality, their obsession, their hypocrisy, their fanaticism, their double standards. They need to explain. Now, I am someone who has consistently been trying to get away once I figure out in these situations that people didn't have my best interest at heart. And so what that looks like is me. I'm coming. What that looks like is me going this place and that place under false pretense, and then when they do their schedule pull the rug shit, plausible deniability, oops, we're sorry, we didn't mean to, plausible deniability is the program process bullshit. So what that looks like is me, or the target, whoever out there listening, forever leaving. But that's actually wisdom, because you know what's funny? In these behavioral health sectors, they stuffing down your throat how you're supposed to leave all these toxic situations. If somebody's sabotaging you, if they're working against you, they're unloving. Every counselor under the sun tells you to do everything you can to get out of those situations, whether it's physical harm, mental harm, financial harm, emotional harm, or exploitation. And that is what my life, especially as of 2020, 2019, and 2020, where it really all began. Me, I'm not going to say escaping, I'm going to say leaving situations that are causing more harm or stagnation. Here you go. I like fish fish.
Where the straws?
Oh, motherfucker.
Huh? Get the red and green straw.
Oh. Here, I didn't see the Slurpee ones. You talking about Slurpee? Oh, wait, I did? Hold on, y'all. That's the stuff. Okay. Now, back to it. Truth. That's who I am, and that's essentially what they do every time they sense that I'm close to any stability that's going to put shit all over their narratives that they create in these places when they're exploiting our privacy. I also want to add that I guarantee you almost 80 to 100% that if I were to show up at all of these motherfuckers' places unannounced, when they least expect it, when they not on their A game, when they're in between whatever they do, I guarantee you can see it in some of their cars. That's always a tell. I guarantee you I would see a mess. Now, someone like me, I'm not looking to look at somebody's house mess to try to paint some picture of their instability, their lack of structure, programming, mental illness. The mental illness is the sick collaboration. That is the real mental illness, politician. Hear me good. That's the mental illness. Dressed up with fancy hats, clothing, vehicles, That is the mental illness. Abusing and violating vulnerable population and then calling their manifestation of exhaustion them being weak when the weak ones are the abusers. The stalking crazy nigga bitches are the weak ones and the abusers. They are the ones who are needing to go to the Department of Mental Health on Skid Row and sit their whole ass up in there good and plenty. And let somebody psychoanalyze why the fuck they retarded. Let somebody psychoanalyze why they're out here in these here streets committing hate crimes against people who don't share their same faith. Let them sit their whole ass in that seat. Why they were okay for even but 5 minutes with harassing a disabled person and creating hardships, or not even trying to truly help them. They need to get their whole asses fucking evaluated. You want the truth? You're not fucking ready. Some of you out here, your head is too far up the asses of these motherfuckers. You don't even know it's shit. You think this shit is fucking cotton candy on your ass. So delusional, so colonized, so programmed. You didn't even know that shit is shit. Because it came with some cotton candy wrapping and shit. Inside is rotten as fuck. With a nice hallelujah badge on it. With the Bible and the cross, bitch. In some of y'all's cases. You want the truth? That's the truth. These people, they ain't, on the surface it appears. See, that's the trick. That is the trick. That's the illusion. But isn't that true about all relationships? If we think about actual abusive and dysfunctional relationship, it's almost like there's a template to that. There's a template if we're willing to look at it. The whole bait and switch. Most people don't just end up in a crazy relationship. What happened? What do they call it? They got love bombed. What do they call it? Baited, hooked. And every weakness that they had, now I shouldn't even say weakness, but any, vulnerabilities there are exploited. But on the surface, it could have the same appearance. I mean, if we look at different examples to make sense of it for those of you who aren't ready to accept the bigger truth. Some of you probably won't this carnation. Demiurge is going to have to stuff your whole ass in a couple of meat suits 1,000 times more before your soul start feeling some kind of way. Now, truth. If you're not ready to look at that greater truth, all you have to do, go basic. That'll help. What's the making of any abusive dynamic? Break it down into small pieces. It's always the high and the thrill of the new. the over giving, love bombing. Look at any historical situation, and it all kind of has that same foundation. It was like a dream come true. Everything you ever wanted. They bought you cars, they bought you houses, they bought you ball gowns, they took you on vacations, they, did role play, the best sex ever. They, whatever the case may be, that's always the story. That's always how it started. It didn't start with motherfuckers clocking your ass. You know what I'm saying? It don't start. Usually it don't start like that. It's slow. It's that abuse cycle, slow increments, the yo-yo. Hi, I'm nice to you. And I experienced that at the shelter. Them motherfuckers was Jekyll and Hyde. And then had the audacity to project when I started acting different in some kind of way. When certain people weren't around, it's I'll do anything for you, anything for you. And when certain other people are around, oh, we can't do that because that's not allowed. Now, so this is the case with these coordinated entry systems. They sell you the pipe dream. They get you excited. They're vague communication, but then in some cases, they're downright lies, because I've been downright lied to. And the only thing that they give you out of that is some empty ass apology that doesn't mean nothing, if they give you that. Because some of them just bypass it as if they whole ass didn't lie. They're designed to exasperate and frustrate whoever's targeted. The only ones who don't get taken to that extent are the ones who are following suit with the protocol of compressing who they really are and becoming a token. Those are the only ones, and those are the ones they put on their pamphlets. Look at our success story. Look at all these families. Yeah, that's probably your cousin. You ain't gonna tell us that though. That's somebody from your church. You ain't gonna say that either. These programs are supposed to be neutral. I'm going to say it again. There's air, and I'm putting an air quote. That's why I'm exposing it, because it's like, in essence, it's a compression chamber. But for all intensive purposes and legalities, which they love to play with, well, for all intensive purposes, they're supposed to be neutral. And neutral in the full extent of the word neutral, okay? Meaning, if there's a conflict of interest, that's a no-no. Okay, that's a no-no for these industries. Okay, because this is not your personal life, bitch. This is the job. Okay, if there is a conflict of interest that violates the stipulations in which how they were even funded, that's a problem. Certain groups within these coordinated entry systems aren't supposed to have privilege by way of nothing, with the exception, and far and few in between, and I have to say that delicately, because my son didn't experience any extended helps for him in his condition whatsoever. As if it doesn't matter as much because he ain't crippled with no fucking cane or no goddamn wheelchair.
May I have some of this, please?
Okay. Coordinated entry systems. Bullshit. The populations they serve should be treated with care, and I don't care what the opinions are of the highfalutin motherfuckers who run it. And if that's not, see, here's where I'm at with all of it, you know, because all industries ain't for everybody. I've learned this a trillion years ago. And I'm cool with that. There's certain industries that I know I'm not the one. And I'm okay with it. It's okay. It's okay. Some people have no business in the humanitarian arena. They have 0% business in that arena. They have no business serving in a philanthropic humanitarian service field industry at all. Some people shouldn't. Because relatability ain't enough, apparently. I've proven this. Some people become too damn callous and they become fucking wardens instead of real help for people. They figure since they had to suffer blood, knuckles, and tears, they think that's the template. They have no business in the industry. They should be on Wall Street. That's more fitting for their callous, cutthroat nature. Numbers. Hard, calculated numbers. It's just good old, you know, that's all it is. Some of these people should resign because it is a delicate, especially when you're dealing with coordinated entry systems, talking about the displaced population. Half of these motherfuckers need to resign yesterday. And I don't care if they've been doing it for 30 years. $30 years of bureaucracy. 30 years of half-assedness. 30 years of favoritism. 30 years of personal agenda bleeding into one's job. 30 years of Some of these people should resign yesterday. I actually care about the population. It takes a lot for me when I'm going in these environments, even for myself. And I'm feeling all that energy, and I'm watching my son feel and absorb all of the energy and what it does to him. And I'm looking at some of these people, understanding that, I may not be, quite where they are, but I'm looking at them and I'm looking at the system all at the same time. And I know it's difficult and it's a challenge, and I get that. It's no excuse, is what I'm simply saying. I get it. I've worked in behavioral health. I worked in mental health. I worked in hospital. I've got a pretty diverse background, but that's not even what I'm trying to, it doesn't really matter. All those other people that air quote so far, air quote worse off than me, they're still people. We don't know why they're like that. It's easy to sit behind a desk in a meeting with comfortable cookies, bitch. Do you want to talk? Okay, come back. Woo! Come back. Just come back. You gotta come back, girl. Come back to yourself. It's easy to fucking do. People have lost their humanity. I know that as a matter of fact. They allow people become jaded in the worst sense of jaded, and fail to become jaded in a sense where probably they should have. And I don't know if what I said just made sense, but it's like the getting jaded because people work systems. You go, baby, you're going to have that in everything. No, none of us is getting away from that ever. And people who taking their asses into these health industries need to swallow it. It's a part of the goddamn biz. Get out the fucking industry if you're sitting with your ass tight and you weren't. About somebody taking advantage, bitch. We're taking advantage of the program. Right. Are you one of them? Is that somebody still being taken advantage of the program when you gave privilege to your homegirl's baby mama, daddy, sister, cousin? And in some cases, people be so worried about it. It's like, really? These people's privacies being stripped away, being humiliated, surveilled like they did something wrong. Because that's what that is. And again, I have to say, from the business mind and the business side, and the fact that I've been in the industry, I understand certain protocols of why certain things has to be there. But some of this shit is being exploited too. Some people should resign yesterday. Wrong industry. If they're too busy worrying about the system being taken advantage of, then they are people getting fucking. They feel better with some mother, some father that was making leeway, doesn't bother anybody, making do what they have, don't have connect, so they ain't got somebody that they fucking that can come pick them up and take them to the goddamn, you know what I'm saying, nigga, don't, nigga. Fuck me. So worried about that. They allow that to trump helping. But yet and still, these are some of the same people who are helping people who ain't about shit. Who are helping actual fucking weird ass witches and warlocks and sorcerers and stalkers and shit. But they worry about somebody taking advantage. They wouldn't be saying that when they get their own special privileges or their people. They're not talking that jazz, and that's calling bullshit bullshit. Some people need to resign yesterday. People are working these jobs, and listen, I know, I look now. Some of these people got 3 and 4 jobs that be in these arenas, and they go in there and they taking that shit out on motherfuckers in these places. I'm telling you, it's cold right now. Because since they got 30 kids, they're going to need 60 jobs just so that they can not die. Because all they shit is getting fucking ate up. And then when they see somebody that knows how to balance and that's, going with the flow of things and making it do what they do, and they don't feel like they working hard enough. Truth. My situation in Compton was an impossible one. They pushed the agenda of people getting their income and jobs, yet I could not leave my son. When I went around that and found a unique way to be able to do that for myself, they made sure to not be of any assistance so that I can get that ball rolling. That's when they started suddenly coming up with, it's a new process after having ignored me. Unprofessional as fuck. Expecting me to call them, respond to them in a timely manner, and having every excuse under the sun, above the sun, under the moon, above the moon, and everything in between. And in some cases, not even acknowledging their incompetence. That will sabotage my progress, politician. Do you want to know the truth? I was somebody who could have been a real success story without licking ass cracks and bootstraps, and without having to resign my sovereignty or the truth of who I am to fit the mold of the bullshit. This could have went a whole nother way. It could have been a legit success. They talk, you'll see this stuff about balance and peace and meditation. They all want that shit, bitch. They worked against it intentionally. Because if it's not in the protocols and means that they see fit and suitable for the ways in which, nigga, you're supposed to get it. And once again, these programs, they're supposed to be neutral. Talking about the love of Christ. That ain't no, 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 no. By the way, it has always bothered me, even when I was on, once upon a time I was in different path. It bugged me then. This is how I know that I must be threaded different. Long before I was being a part of what I'm doing, it bothered me then. You heard me right. It did. Because there was always this subtle energy or thoughts within myself. It's like, I wasn't cussing and stuff back then, but it was the vibe. It was like, what does that have to do with anything? Are you human or not? Put that down. Goodness gracious. What does it have to do? Where's your humanity at? That's your template. But I've had to learn that sure as shit, if you or me were to go to any world-renowned famous cult of all time that maybe the world is aware of, if you were to go to any of these members, they would defend that stuff to the death, the very thing that's hurting them. And they'll turn on you and try to kill your ass depending on how cuckoo for Cocoa Puff they is. Because you trying to take them away from their, you cannot, we all know this as a fact. You are not about to rescue a cult member. Somebody who's a victim that's in some kind of a cult. You're not. No, you're not. Oh no, you're not. No. The only way that ever happens is in extreme and rare cases where like almost like life and death experience something, and even then it's like they got to get decompressed, Stockholm syndrome, the trauma bonds. Like they still have to go through all those things because that's been a fucking life. And by the way, when people like to talk about like results, well, if I were to go join a gang, I can get results, can I not? No? Just answer it a yes and a clear yes and a clear no, because it's simple. It's real simple. I can. No. If I go join a gang now, depending on the gang now, because you got some bootleg po-ass gangs, you know what I'm saying? But if I were to go and join a gang today, there's going to be benefits and results that I get to get, period. So if somebody wanted to sit up there and say, well, proven results, yeah, I joined their gang, bitch, on their terms and conditions, and they covering a hole, okay? And well, is that the way? Not magical. They're covering a hole, okay? Because they got monies and shit, and and they know this one and that one. Cold gang. See, when we talk that way and make it plain and simple, it can help. There's some people right now dead. And I mean, it ain't funny, but they did. Go on. And we all, somebody will say, we're all gonna die. Yeah. But I'm gonna say this. That wasn't possibly the way it was supposed to happen. They went prematurely. They went, under crazy conditions, all because, well, their family are a bunch of sellouts. Their baby mamas and baby daddies, a bunch of fucking weirdos. Crazy ass pillhead mama. Crazy ass pillhead daddy. You know what I'm saying? It's trying to survive. It's like, I'll demiurge. I'll sell my son. I'll sell my daughter. I'll betray them. Couldn't, I'm old and elderly now. I can't do, just make sure I have somewhere to live. Yeah, you could torture them. Why not? I'll just go to the, I'll go to the confession booth with the Pope, bitch. We'll take care of that. Pay pittance. I'll donate for my guilt, bitch. It's real simple. Some people just are not ready to hear the truth. They want the comfortable lies. They want the truth to be what they always wanted it to be, what we had to believe when we were children and we didn't know how to process any of this stuff. And, it's just easier. It's less messy and convoluted. That's what some people, they don't want the fucking truth. Some people aren't confused. It's just more convenient to pretend to be. Because admitting that they're not confused would unravel the spaghetti bowl. It will be unraveling all the nasty truths that people aren't wanting to deal with. And it's easy to not want to deal with that when you're getting spits from the demiurge. But let me make this plain. And some of these folks are about to see a lot of this play out. They ain't nothing honorable amongst these, baby. Nothing. They turn on their own when it comes down to it. They turn on the simps they hire in a New York minute. There's no honor among these thieves. Thieves of what? Everything. Truth. Everything. There's no honor. When the time is right, and that time for them is, it's looking like they might lose something that they don't want to lose, or it's costing more than they thought something would cost. As they weigh all of those things, that's the time's right. When the time is right, they're going to sell their ass. They're going to sell all their little tap dancing monkeys. The handlers, the ops, the surveillors, all of them. The stalker witches, all of them. The families, the relatives that was all too willing and excited to participate when the time's right, because they're going to get tired of some of that shit too. Some of these people are going to become burdened. It's too much. But truth, the narratives, how they're trying to force separate. That's what they're doing with me and my son. That's the whole thing. Because if any of these raggedy motherfuckers had any real, any real, it would have been evident. The proof is in the pudding. Every time I'm on a call and you hear that ding, I just look like this, nigga.
Uh-oh. Ooh, yeah. Ooh.
They need this story to be true so badly. This is why they have to start pulling the resources every time there's any momentum gained. Because then it's like, well, they're going to the laundromat every week, so that's not sticking. It's supposed to look like they're not taking care of their business, or that they're just lazy. So we need to pull the resource here, and then we need to do some more harassment and stalking, and then so that we can, yeah. Hire a few more witches in the neighborhood so they can get refurbished their apartment. Yeah, I marked them all. Just like I'm marking them here. Today, earlier when we were heading to one of the pretend help places. I'm in a whole vibe, another vibe. I mean, you get up this age, I don't give a fuck no more. If people feel confident and cocky to sit up there and blow their smoke and shit and just sit up and, not consider other people, then I don't care about spraying shit. They can say what the fuck they want. I'm waiting. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. And I dare somebody. I dare. I don't care. If they don't care, then I don't care. I'm done with the niceties. They're not considering that maybe the person is walking this way don't want your cancer ass nasty fucking habit the fuck up in their face, nigga. So I must be a spraying bitch. And if your ass get wet, and if you're a reptilian, you might not be ready for what happens with that spray. Now, I shouldn't have to be subject. See, people that's going to stumble across this video, they're like, damn, no. See, look at all the conditioning. This over nicety is for a society that is not considering you. Smoking is something that is widely accepted without the consideration of people who may have actual medical conditions, children, babies, all of those things. There are people out here in these streets walking with their children, babies, and nobody knows what these people's conditions may or may not be. Nobody cares. Everyone is walking around feeling comfortable to be nasty, nigga. Okay, everybody is walking around feeling good and comfortable and cocky to exercise their right to smoke all the be damned. Fine. And so I can spray all the be damned when I feel like it. What if I don't want? What if I have lung issues? and I'm supposed to just grin and bear it because this nigga is a smoker, this bitch is a smoker? No. Conditionings, toxic culture. And before somebody that comes on this video go there, am I judging smokers? Actually, no. See, you're not even following the right thought. Actually, no. That's their life. You see that? No. We all got something. I might eat one too many goddamn chocolate chip cookies. We all got something. And that's not the healthiest thing for me. Now, me eating my chocolate chip cookies ain't doing damage to somebody else's body. Now, that's the difference. Me choosing to eat a chocolate chip cookie maybe not wise, you know, for my age and my whatever, and the, you know, boom, bitch, you know, it's like, okay, what you doing to your body, sister soldier, with this here junk food? But it's being done to my body. It's not osmosis. I'm eating chocolate chip cookies, and when I walk past the hole, when I go outside, bitch, because I'm eating a chocolate chip cookie, I'm finna make her ass get diabetes. Cigarette smoke, weed smoke, vape smoke, cigar smoke is a habit that, if it is done in front of others, affects others. But these are often some of the same people that want to judge somebody else's lifestyle while they're sitting smoke, blowing their cancer smoke in bitches' faces and shit. Truth. They want the truth. They can't fucking handle the truth. I am aware that the demiurge knew 100% about my movement. And you want to know why I knew that they knew? Everything is exploited. Anything shy of keeping stuff, and even then, if you're being followed, but anything shy of keeping something 100% on a volt. But as I said, if you're surveilled, they're going to track your movement anyway with the people. So that means what? It means that I knew that they would know, don't it? That they manufactured, as they always do. There's a difference between the situations, but it's still their hand. And I'm aware of it. Let's pull the resources. Let's make it virtually impossible. And then she's going to be stuck. Because we're going to switch up the game, bitch. We're going to get our little weird ass, cockeyed ass witches and warlocks and wizards to keep doing shit on them and their children. We're going to keep having staff be Jekyll and Hyde. I'm sweet as pie today, and tomorrow, oh, can't do that because, yeah. We're going to keep playing that game. And keep them doing assessments. Oh, you want want to switch over to our program? Because if you switch over to this one, bitch, we can assist you. Bitch, please. Stop lying. I'm going to one of these churches and the shit gonna catch on fire. Lying ass. To exasperate, to keep me and folks like myself. Oh, you gotta go this process. I shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to be doing all this shit to talk to a regular bitch. They acting like these motherfuckers is in the presidential office, nigga. What the fuck? Oh, you need to come down here. And this is the president. The fuck?
What?
And then it gives the bullshit. It's in there. It's like, oh, okay, bitch, we could have been somewhere else finding some real shit, nigga. What? That's y'all's problem. Salespeople. You know, we need to know. You do not. You can answer this question is what you can do. I don't know. Do you not? Or don't you work here? Oh, they bullied you. That's what this is. They bullied you not to say nothing. That's what it really is, huh? That's what it is. They bullied you. Truth. Folks aren't ready for the real truth. I call bullshit. Y'all hear me talk a lot about extremes and religion and spirituality and different things. You hear me? Because I talk about how stuff is the same thing coming out another hole. And it can be. It can turn into that. That's the problem with any systematic anything. It turns into that. It becomes dehumanized. Because it's easy for me. Listen, I put myself in this. It's easy for me. It's easy for anybody. To cookie cut things based on our maybe experience, and that's still a form of cookie cutting. Okay, it's like, yeah, nigga, that was you. And what if somebody is trying to prevent some people ain't thinking to try to because this is me, y'all. I have a thing, and maybe this is not fair, but at least I'm willing to admit it instead of pretending. I have a thing. It's like, and that could be how, I'm older generation, and that could have a lot to do with that, and the era, all that stuff, the location. I have a thing. It's like, okay, if I was a man, a single man without children, I would still be saying it's horrible to mistreat anybody, whether they're a man or a woman. It's horrible what they take these targeted people through, these coordinated. It's horrible. Okay. However, not to say that it would be easy or feel better. It's just, okay, you don't have nobody glued to your hip. You're a man of a certain stature. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference between that scenario and a woman with a child. And to try to push that in the same category, or to expect, I'm trying to say this right, because I don't want to victimize women here. I'm not trying to make it like that, but I'm saying to try to mush all that together is a disservice and an unkindness. It's one thing for me walking out, roaming the streets of Vegas or anywhere I'd land, even as a woman by myself. I mean, that's bad and dangerous because what could But if I got a kid or someone that's like a child, religion, it's always gonna be your season, or I'm looking back. There's always benefits that come with any game, and I'm equating it that way because we need to see it for plain as day. Just see it. When you are part of, and the benefits are contingent upon, like, blase blase. So, but even with that, it was still the roller coaster. It was still never not quite. Never not. It was somebody someday gonna fucking get real and honest. Somebody is. It was always, you need more deliverance, more healing. It's just more dedicated, more tithes and offerings, more conferences, more fasting and praying, bitch. It was always, bitch. It was always never not performative. Conditional. While certain other ones, highfalutin, they ain't purging, they ain't sending that bitch, they ain't, oh Lord have mercy. It was like, oh, this is generational curses. You just gotta do no, it's demiurge, nigga, but let me get off that. You just have to do more, these blood packs and more shit. Uh-huh. And some of this is bullshit.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah. 5 6 points.
So that certain people, certain groups, and certain families wanting us to be the receiver, wanting us to be the sacrifice.
Stop.
Always never quite there. You're not dedicated enough. You ain't doing enough to maybe you need a ministry. Not witnessing enough. You're not outreaching enough. And I was somebody, I go big or I go home. That was always me, and that's going to always be me. All in. So it gets to be a point when is it enough? And what happened to this so-called unconditional love shit? I know I don't need my son to tap dance for me. I know that. I know I don't need him to think like me, be me, like what I like. I know that. For me to have parental true love for him. I don't need him to be tortured for not, licking my ass. And then call him a prodigal son to come back home because he dared to have his own fucking mind. And called him a devil. I know that I don't require, or I don't look at my own son knowing what he's afflicted with and why, and telling him that it's something more that he needs to be fucking doing. When I'm big and bad and powerful and should be able to do some shit like a Senshi. Know that. I know that no legitimate parent ain't on that bullshit. I know that. Tap dance for me, and I'll give you a bag of potato chips. Cry for me, wail and lament. Crying is lethargic when it's sovereignly owned for process. But all that other travail and shit, why? Because them niggas, that's why them fucking demiurge, fucking hybrids, and the fucking entities, bitch. The system needs somebody to be the suffering crowd and somebody to be the fat ass highfalutin ones pretending to know shit, and they just a bunch of privileged, pompous bullies. Driving around stalking 50-year-old women 135 pounds and they disabled kid thinking they somebody flexing.
No. All right.
Playing magic tricks and hand signals and shit. Ooh, look at us. Look at us. White bitch passed me today. Asian bitch, whatever the fuck she was. But it don't matter. No, I'm not a racist. And I'm not a racist when I say that I'm not a racist. I'm just calling what it was. If she was black, I would have said, I would have referred the same thing. They're obvious at this point. They've been obvious. And I'm inverting all of their little shit. Truth, I'm on here 2 hours. This is probably going to be the last time y'all hear from me, maybe for a few days, as I figure out if there's any, as I communicated with this, the person I communicated, let me rephrase it, because I communicated with a couple of beings today. So I'm going to say, I communicated with a few. So I'm going to rephrase this particular person that I communicated with in this conversation. I said, I'm going to find out if there's actually any real humans left. As I was messaging this person, because this was through messaging, this wasn't an actual conversation, this was through messaging. As I messaged this person, I said, I gotta find out. I'm gonna find out, because I'm not here. I'm not trying to prove anything to anybody. I don't need to. That's the difference between me and the karmics that sold they soul for a bowl of beans. I don't have anything to prove. I'm not out here trying to prove how big and bad I am, how bad of a witch, how sovereign, how tough, how this, how that. I know who I am. I'm not here
to prove. And I actually see value in beings, which lets me know that the elements of me is still intact in spite of all of this stuff. I don't need people to be free of their parasites, their I need to sense the decency about them, because I understand that the parasites is in some cases is people that've been stalked and harassed their entire life. See, that's where real discernment kicks in. Oh, I love that word, because there's a whole lot of people claiming it. There's a whole lot. They don't know how to tell the difference between, and we've all been here. I've had to learn this. They don't know how to tell the difference between someone who is a victim of, such as my son, with an open receiver, and and other people who have been subjected to certain things and sacrificed to certain things. Right? So you're gonna sense what's on them, the environment, know what's been put on them, what they've been subjected to. Okay. There's some people who still don't know how to tell the difference between that and then a trash bag motherfucker demiurge nigga bitch over here making a living off of tormenting motherfuckers. They still can't tell the difference. Me, I don't have all the answers, and I'm always ever present knowing that I don't. But seeing value in beings, not needing them to become pristine before they can have the privilege and the honor, bitch, of my because I'm not clear the parasites. Let me let you in on something. Until we are no longer in the simulation, until we have managed whatever that entails, because I still don't claim to have all the answers to that. Until we are no longer being stuffed in meat suits over and over again, as long as we are a part of this bullshit, you are going to be dealing with parasites. And I'm talking energetic and physical. Yeah. And it doesn't mean that you haven't done, I believe the more trauma integration, of course, there's a level, I want to say, the mastery of dealing with it. That may be a better way to put it, because instead of implying mastery as if you're yay, yay, I don't have any parasites, no entities, no parasites, bitch, and my chakras is not, as long as we are here, because this is Demiurge Central. No. Listen, I'm talking the active known agents and people that's just their puppets and they don't know that they're their puppets. This is the name of the game. I feel like the system, the simulation, the system, whatever you all want to call it, the down drop to me, to sovereigns, or if that's too big of a word, whatever suits your fancy, decent people that's waking up, all this bullshit. The downside is like, let me give an example. I heard Ralph Smart the other day on one of his videos. And now I'm questioning, because he said that he was the 33rd, and that I caught it, and I'm like, don't let me find out. I said it to myself laughing. Because he was one that I listened to early on my wake, and I was like, don't let me find out. Let me find out. Let me find out. But anyway, Because again, see, I have a problem with systems that exploit anything, and I don't care who and what it is. I just do. Pure. This whole hierarchy shit is it's a splinter in humanity. It is. But he said, I think that he, and I might be wrong, so I want to be kind of careful with how I say it because I might be wrong with this. But I think he is anti artificial intelligence. I think he's anti any AI stuff. Okay. And he said something about needing community, needing to connect with humans, and and I love the whole thought of that. I'm not against what he said with that aspect. I'm like, oh, 100, absolutely. But here's where I feel like the system plays sovereigns, woke ones, enlightened ones, all of whatever you call it, against each other. Then they're just terrified to, because of the abuse, because of everything that takes place, it's like you got to go through some other performative shit when we don't get that the whole premise of what they're doing is to keep sovereign separate. We haven't caught up to that yet. Because often when you try to reach out to the human, what are you met with? Be honest. What are you met with? Humans have a tendency, as beautiful as humans are, some of us, we might be able to be purchased for a price. All it takes is Ken and Barbie with their Hollywood 6 to come in there offering you a package to get your business to take off. Should you just go ahead and let them evaluate, let them go ahead and exploit this here internet. Go ahead, let them exploit this app. Well, this is a really takeoff. And isn't that what you want? Because see, they know that the sovereigns have been targeted, that their monies have been attacked, their livelihood. They know it. So they'll come in and slide in there, and they're like, okay, they're trying to build a business. We go in there often, they might let us and say, hey, just let us, this person's dangerous. Yeah. Susan. This person's there, and we just want to evaluate. We're not gonna do anything, and we're gonna just do our stuff, and and for your troubles, let's evaluate your AI. We have our co-members on your app and on both your platforms, singing your praises because they're following the sovereigns there. To get intel and information. Everything can be exploited, and I mean everything. There's nothing, no app and website, nothing foul-proof. I can be a crazy stalker, killer, karmic bitch that's stalking a sovereign, and I see that the sovereign. It ain't that hard. You don't got to be that intelligent to figure that out. doing root work on your shit. Now, that's a little off track, but it's still going along with what I said in a whole sense. It's all intentional. It's all by design. For those of you that are not ready to accept the broader truth, the basic truths, the physical truths is enough information that even my son could manage to understand. So folks like me appear to be running to create a narrative, and what we've been doing is trying to purge toxicity. People, places, and programs that are actively working against us.
Yeah, all kinds going in trash and clean straw.
I don't have all the answers, but there's nobody who does. I don't claim perfection, but there's nobody who is. I don't intrude on other people's personal life journeys as long as it's that, just that, their personal life journey, not violating other people. But I'm certainly not a fake-ass philanthropist or a fake-ass humanitarian exploiting the very population in which I claim to serve either. I am not a fake-ass Lululemon Linda walking around here acting woke. Because my husband fucking got money and can give me a business and a website and some candles and some crystals, bitch. While I stalk people who's got the flame that I don't have. While I do root work on them and their children, pretending to be enlightened and loving life. Loving life. As flawed as I am, I ain't that.